What's good, everybody, and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, July 18th, 2019. I'm Andrea Renee, joined by the best hair in the business, Fran Mirabella III.
So good to see you, Andrea.
Good to see you too, Fran.
I heard the news while I was on the road, and everybody's all sad that you're leaving, but not yet.
Oh, I know. So we are going to definitely talk about that. Might as well just talk about it now. So you guys might have heard on Monday. Let's just get right into it, Kevin.
Peeled the Band-Aid right off.
Don't cry, Kevin. It's going to be okay. So on Monday, I announced that, yes, I'm going to be leaving Kinda Funny, unfortunately. But it's for a fantastic reason. My husband, John Drake, was announced as the new Vice President of Business Development and Licensing for Disney, which is super exciting for him. That and he's really cool. Down in Los Angeles already, hard at work at his brand new gig. So very happy for him. And I've been looking forward to getting back to Los Angeles for quite some time. Of course, I started my career in LA, lived there for a very long time while I was working with Mahalo and Smosh and GT and a whole bunch of other people like Clever. And so really excited to get back down there. But, you know, I've been trying, you guys, to convince Kinda Funny to move to Los Angeles. I've been working. I planted the seed.
This is part of your plan,
a long time ago, knowing this day would come.
Now that you're there, we have to go down there.
Exactly.
So we're one step away.
Just come on down, Kevin.
I told everyone Fran would just go with us.
Yeah. Fran, you'd be in, wouldn't you, Fran?
I mean, I'd have to figure some things out, but I mean, yeah, I'm fine with that way. It's a stone's throw away.
See, he said he's fine with it, Kevin.
I'm sure your brother would be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I would say my brother.
He's an adult. He'd be fine. What does that mean for Kinda Funny Games Daily? You may be asking. Well, because we're still looking for a place to live in Los Angeles. John is in corporate housing, temporary housing right now. I will still be on the show for the next month or two. Probably not going to be leaving until much later.
Yeah,
early fall, maybe
right?
even. So September. So we got lots of time, you guys. Don't worry. So keep sending in your questions to patreon.com/kindfunnygames. Gamescast is still going to roll on as per usual until I leave as well. And then I'll come up here from time to time. It's not that far.
Exactly.
Just a quick flight
Don't
away.
lie to the kids.
Don't lie to the kids.
It's a kid.
Anyway, it's good to be back for a Frandria. It's been
That's
too long.
right.
It's
Frandria Thursday. And we got Frandria Friday tomorrow, too.
I know.
Because Greg, of course, is at Comic-Con. So let's get into the show because, yes, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily, your source for video game news in the morning. And you guys can watch it live at twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you watch it live, you guys have a special job to help keep us honest by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong to let us know what we screw up as we screw it up to set the record straight for everybody watching on podcast services around the globe. If you don't want to watch it, or excuse me, I should have said listening on podcast services. If you want to watch the show, you can see
for a second.
my amazing Wonder Woman skirt that I'm wearing today.
It's really nice.
So this was an outfit. I'm just going to stand up for a second so you guys can see.
Maybe.
So I got a full thing here.
That is such an awesome dress. I love it.
I bought this outfit for Comic-Con, and unfortunately, my plans changed, and I'm not going to Comic-Con this year, which I'm actually kind of excited about.
Yeah.
But if you want to see my my Wonder Woman outfit, you got to go to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
Yeah, take that moment. Just head over there, support us over there, too. Even if you only listen, a few more subs, maybe me and Fran gets to stay around because, you know, Andrew's leaving and, like, you want a sub. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to head over there, the dress is amazing, though.
Thank you so much. If you guys want to be part of the show, take that fandom of Kinda Funny one step further, of course. Patreon.com/kindfunnygames is where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members get the show ad-free. Today on the show, speaking of which, we're talking about Plants vs. Zombies 3. Tim Willits is leaving id, and Ubisoft CEO has something to say about Stadia porting. But we'll get to that in just a minute. A little bit of housekeeping first. The Lego Podcast Studio needs your help, best friends. Kbabz made the Kinda Funny set in Lego form. Here it is up on screen. Thank you, Kevin.
We did it.
Wait, is it done?
Well, so if you got over 1,000...
It's in the game?
No.
No, so this is the first step. We haven't quite succeeded yet, Kevin. We need 10,000 votes, and it will become a reality at kindafunny.com/Lego. So make sure, don't let Kevin fool you. We still need your support, best friends.
But now there's an extension. Once you pass 1,000,
right?
we hit that,
we still need 10,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You need
it's incredible.
8,205 more votes. Is that right?
Oh,
yes.
Look at the brain on Fran.
No, I can't. No, I did that wrong.
You're way wrong.
8,805. I don't know.
You're off by 100.
I was off.
Anyways,
I was so close.
But look at my little ponytail. I'm the little Lego Andrea on the set. It's pretty cool, right?
So wait, who is that? That's on the. That's Tim. No, why is Tim bald?
I think this is Jared.
We gotta get Jared out of there.
It's Jared. I was like,
too
why
late.
is
It's
Tim
been
bald?
submitted.
Like it's a guy with a
We
beard.
also don't have a
He's-
blonde lady, so.
Yeah, who's the blonde?
Do we?
Either way.
I guess maybe that's Tim, because of the glasses.
Yeah.
Tim never wears his glasses though. He wore
Wait,
them
who-
that one time.
Who's in the red shirt with the hair? That's pretty good hair. The guy in the red kind of looks
That's
like
Andy.
me, doesn't
That's
it?
Andy. That's not you.
Oh, that is
That's
Andy.
definitely Andy.
Man,
Yeah.
what
This
a
is either
Napoleon
me
complex.
or Nick Scarpino.
That's definitely you, Kevin.
That's 100%
That's
you on
absolutely
the controls. It has a control room.
We
so
can
if you are
never let
watching-
Scarpino.
This is really good. It's got the walls on
Be
the
on the
side,
controls.
which there's a split in them, showing the shelves, showing that they're modular.
Look
this
at
is
the
really,
LED
really
wall.
well done.
Yeah,
I mean-
this is really well done.
Really awesome. So
Excellent.
that's why you got to get over there. What? Kindoffunny.com/Lego. LEGO. That's it.
Just like it sounds.
If we ever make this happen, I'm gonna buy 2 of these bad boys. One to just have set up somewhere, and then one to rebuild to make it more accurate to the actual studio.
Yeah, you got to get the little Andrea Renee Lego. Have you seen my?
yeah,
I'm
I've-
playing Lego Tower, and I tweeted that I found a banana hat in the Lego Tower game, and so I could become Andrea Renee in the Lego. I'll tweet it again if you guys want to play. I'm always looking for more friends in Lego Tower. All right,
Okay.
Greg is getting his 100th platinum this Monday, July 22nd, starting at 4 p.m. Pacific time, right here at twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. If you want to watch, we'll be playing The Division. I'm inviting myself.
There it is.
There it is. You want to come, Fran?
Should all get together. Greg mentioned it, so I think as long as I can make it happen schedule-wise, I'm in.
You just can't be in your menus the whole time, okay?
Now I'll prepare early. He's got to do easy stuff. I don't need to be in my menus. I could do that with my eyes closed.
All right, great. We want to thank our Patreon producers, Colton Yoder, Blackjack, and Mohammed. And today we're brought to you by Quip and 23andMe, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 4 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Wow.
Oh, I like it, Kevin. Some
Getting
spunk.
very announcer.
I'm gonna miss you.
I know. Don't be sad. I'm going to cry too, Kevin. EA announces Plants vs. Zombies 3. This write-up comes from Ana Diaz over at Polygon. The popular Plants vs. Zombies series is coming back with Plants vs. Zombies 3, publisher Electronic Arts announced this week. The announcement didn't reveal many details about the game, so no news yet on whether our lawn defense in this version will be pollinator-friendly or not. All we know is that the pre-alpha version of Plants vs. Zombies 3 launched this week on the Google Play Store. EA hasn't given a final release date yet. Per PopCap, the developer of the game, the pre-alpha is free to play with no microtransactions. The official release will also be free to play. EA didn't comment on whether the final game will include microtransactions, but the Google Play Store entry lists in-app purchases. Quote, PVZ3 is under early construction and is not representative of the final game, end quote, EA said. They also said pre-alpha is focused on getting feedback on combat features only. We're saving a lot more for later. Plants vs. Zombies first came to audiences in 2009 on Windows PC and OS X. It follows the eternal struggle between the player and the suburban lawn horticulturist and the encroaching zombie horde. The game is known for its combination of whimsy tower defense tactics, and it captured the hearts of many players and has led to a successful franchise with mobile sequels and even console spin-offs. Fran, are you pumped? I'm pumped.
You know what? I never got into Plants vs. Zombies, but I do appreciate it very much. It was wildly popular, which is why I got a sequel, obviously, as well. And I remember, too, it came out before... Obviously, they were part of EA, right? This is what spurned
PopCap, yes.
becoming... They're part of EA now, right?
Well, yeah, so they own the studio in much the same way that, BioWare is underneath EA and DICE is underneath EA. Yeah, exactly.
But, I sort of recollect, I was like, this was one of their first big mobile moves at the time, I thought. I mean, I'd have to really think back, but I believe this was, a really big move for them. And it seems like it's paid off, still very popular. But I never really got much of a chance to play it. What about you? Were you a Plants vs. Zombies fan?
Love Plants vs. Zombies. I have a really fun history with this franchise. So this was one of the first games that I reviewed on my This Week in iPad show way back for the original Plants vs. Zombies. And I did a standalone walkthrough series on Mahalo for Plants vs. Zombies on iPad, and it was such a fun game. I'm a huge tower defense person. We were talking just about Kingdom Rush Vengeance last week, and so this was one of my favorite games on iPad, because back then, that touchscreen games were just becoming a big thing because smartphones really hadn't made their way onto the scene yet, and the iPad was really the first tablet to break through. I know, it's wild to think that wasn't even that long ago. So I really loved the first Plants vs. Zombies. I also really liked Plants vs. Zombies 2. However, it wasn't as popular as people wanted it to be. And when I say when people wanted it to be, I mean, there was a lot of fans of the original that did not like the way the microtransactions were built into that game. True story, and if you're interested, if you go to YouTube and look up Andrea Renee Plants vs. Zombies 2, you will find my Hot Pepper Gaming episode.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Greg and I both did episodes of Hot Pepper Gaming. Rest in peace. Love that channel. Love those guys. But
Found it.
So it was a super fun episode for me to shoot, but I really enjoyed Plants vs. Zombies 2 as well. I didn't think the microtransactions were too painful in that game. Yep, that's
fine.
That's
I'm
it.
just gonna turn on. This is why you got to subscribe on YouTube as well. I've turned a laptop to camera, and I've done part of Kevin's job for him.
Yeah, so I ate an entire habanero pepper and then reviewed Plants vs. Zombies 2.
She's like, that's what Hot Pepper Gaming is, though.
Yeah. I actually, I regret not eating a second one because the first one was really hot for the first minute. And then I was okay afterwards.
Wow, I love seeing you on the verge of tears. Is that wrong to say, everybody? This is one reason to check out Hot Pepper Gaming.
Why are you giving me that look, Kevin?
No, I'm just thinking back at Greg in the Batman suit, his nipples just getting hard, slobbering all over the place.
Well, he did the one with the Thai chilies where he continually ate the Thai chilies.
Colin almost dying because he has stomach issues and
yeah, what was he thinking? I already knew. Oh my God.
Tim just crying.
Yeah.
So hard.
Babies. Sissies, all of them that can't handle it.
I don't know if Nick's ever got posted, but he was unfazed.
Nice. Since we're on the topic.
That was me. I was pretty unfazed. I was playing it up for the camera a little
People
bit.
may or may not know this, but I'm a crazy spice fanatic.
Ooh, I did not know.
Yeah, see, you didn't even know. Crazy.
always
I
talks about
can handle very, very hot food.
Inappropriately.
I wouldn't recommend eating, a ghost pepper raw. So meaning I'm not the type of person to put my stomach into jeopardy. Meaning you can pull it off, but it's actually dangerous. But anyway, I love super hot food. So every time I order food, it's just always underwhelming to me from when I get spicy food. So anyway,
you're saying,
FYI.
Fran, that for this year's Extra live stream, we're going to have to cook up some really spicy challenges to put on the wheel, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that would be no problem.
Because that wheel is accessible to everyone.
No, Fran's name will be on the wheel.
Oh, Fran eats a ghost pepper?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Just like Greg tells a story without laughing, right?
That's the one. So I've eating.
Which he can never do.
It never goes more than 15 seconds.
I might be fine, by the way.
15 seconds is generous.
But eating the whole pepper is a lot on your stomach.
Don't be a coward. You can do it.
No, we'll just
I believe in
We'll
you,
have the
Fran.
best friends send in their favorite hot sauces, and you'll just do shots of hot sauce all night.
That would be super easy. That'd be no problem.
Shots of hot sauce?
Hot sauces are safe.
You can do a shot of hot sauce, no problem, right?
Yeah, of course. Piece of cake.
I'm just double checking.
Just don't want to rub it in your eyes.
because the actual, the enzymes in the flesh of the pepper is what the dangerous part that Fran's talking about.
I didn't even know that. But yeah, on top of that, it just being so much, it's poison. You realize that's the reaction you're having. It is poison in your body.
Alcohol's poison,
It's true, but let's keep drinking it. Yeah.
I think the reason we stumbled on this is in Plants vs. Zombies 3, they should put hot pepper plants. Are they in there yet?
Oh, yes. Pepper plants were in the last one.
No, hot, spicy pepper.
Like a ghost pepper?
Yeah, make it clear that it's the spicy pepper plant.
Bombs or something?
Yeah, they have hot.
Do they already have it?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely do, but maybe you want something a little bit more robust.
Triple X spice. Yeah,
okay.
Super hot.
Yeah, like the Carolina Reaper.
Yes.
You want that in the game.
Yeah, Carolina Reaper would be amazing. Which, by the way, scientifically engineered pepper, look it up. It'll mess you up.
Well, I'm excited. I'm glad that it's happening.
So you're excited.
I will wait for it to come to iOS, and then I will play lots of Plants vs. Zombies 3 and report back to you guys on the Gamescast. We'll, of course, keep you guys up to date when we get more news on a release date. But as of right now, it looks like it's just in pre-alpha on Google Play. So I'm not sure. I guess that means it's... this is the Carolina Reaper pepper that Kevin has pulled up here.
Sorry, he pulled it up and we all got to... It looks terrifying,
That's
doesn't
disgusting.
it? It looks scary.
Yeah. It's dangerous.
It's like a demon pepper.
Yeah. Don't eat it, kids.
Exactly. It's just a pre-alpha. It's early, right? They're basically testing it. It doesn't have a release date, right? So,
no.
So we don't know when it's coming out, but cool that it's on the way and official at this point.
Heck yeah. All right, next story. Ubisoft CEO believes porting to Stadia will be relatively cheap. This write-up comes from Alysia Judge over at IGN. Ubisoft has claimed porting its games to Stadia won't break its bank for now during an earnings call that also posted dwindling sales despite The Division 2 being reportedly one of the best-selling games of 2019 so far. Head honcho and Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot told investors that the extra R&D cash required to successfully port an existing game to Google's cloud gaming service is, quote, not that high. However, he admitted that those costs might go up in the future. Quote, the extra cost of port to make sure the games work well on Stadia is not that high. It's part now of our pipelines, and we have good relationships with Stadia to make sure it is profitable for us, he said. Now we are not speaking about 2.0 types of games that will need more work, and this we will see more in future action. How high is, quote, not that high exactly remains unclear. Meanwhile, for consumers to access Stadia this year, it'll cost $129 for the Founders Edition, which will include a Chromecast Ultra, a limited edition controller, and a 3-month Stadia Pro subscription. Players will have to pay for individual games on top of that subscription, though. Ubisoft has also confirmed it plans to offer its upcoming Uplay plus PC subscription service on Stadia next year. Elsewhere in the call, Ubisoft admitted its sales for the first fiscal quarter were down 9.2% year on year. Having made $408.3 million, it's now putting its eggs firmly in Stadia's basket and banking on the success of video game streaming, having previously announced that 6 of its games will be launch titles when the service goes live this November. These include Assassin's Creed Odyssey and The Division 2, the latter of which Ubisoft claimed was the best-selling game globally in the first half of 2019 during the earnings call. Did you see the list and the details for the Uplay Plus PC subscription service?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. There's quite a bit of things in there. Prince of Persia in particular, I'm excited about. I've always been a fan. And they have I think it's all of them are on there. So yeah, I was going to say that's what's interesting about this story is obviously first, the comments about Stadia, but within there's a few other bites in here. The best-selling game of 2019 appears to be Division 2, and then, Uplay coming with all those games. I mean, all those games are at some point coming to Stadia, so.
Yeah, it's interesting why they made such a committed partnership with Stadia on the heels of announcing their own PC subscription service.
Right.
And to me, that maybe suggests that you're only going to get Ubisoft games at Stadia as part of the Stadia subscription that are past releases, right? Like, obviously, getting a game like The Division 2 in Stadia is important for ongoing live service, but getting a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey isn't necessarily because it's been out for so long at that point. Right, it's been out for a full 12 months by the time Stadia is going to launch in November. So I guess you're really just picking up extra people who never bought in the first time around. I would really love to be a fly on the wall in the negotiation room from Google and Ubisoft as to how much of a split Ubisoft is getting, because that's really been...
Yeah, we don't know that yet on
anything about what they're doing. Same with Game Pass. We don't know what publishers are getting either. But that we talked previously about how one of the concerns for Stadia and the subscription service that they've announced is that the video games industry has the potential to go the way of the music industry, and that there's always going to be backlash from artists and developers over how much of the royalty split they get, because that's something that's been an ongoing problem in music, is that a lot of artists are upset that they don't get a big enough cut of the streaming services.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny. That is a much bigger topic, but it's certainly one that's been coming up. Epic has certainly stirred up the pot with, its very attractive model. If you release on the Epic Store and if you have the Unreal Engine, you get, what was it, down to 12% is all they keep versus, you're talking folks are keeping 30% or more on other platforms. I forget what the licensing for PlayStation and all that is, but that's what's interesting is Phil Harrison is over there at Stadia. He knows every deal. He knows exactly what Microsoft and PlayStation offer. Not that it's a trade secret at this point anymore. It's just the standard, but it goes back to what you're saying, which is, I forget who made that comment recently, right? But they were this was born out of the music industry, and now we've adopted it into the video industry. And so meaning this whole 70-30 split or whatever it is that folks are getting is archaic versus where we are today and the work that people are putting in and what they get. So I wouldn't be surprised if just period, they're trying to be more attractive than the other platform vendors. But I also don't know that they're going to be super duper aggressive because Like if you come out the gate and say, "Oh yeah, we're just going to give it away for free," we'll just take 10% and you just put it on our platform, please put it on our platform, right? Like if it becomes that, then how do you ever go back from that? How does it become a profitable model with Stadia? I mean, so in other words, right? I think Phil knows the deal. Maybe they give people decent, reasonably better cuts, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Epic.
I think when I think about profitability in Google, I immediately think of their extensive ad network globally in all of their products. And I think that's a concern for gamers as well, that, if they go to a model like this where they have to entice developers to bring content by essentially giving them the space for free, how does Google make money on the platform in order to continue servicing it while they build their own games? Because obviously, we know Jade Raymond is over there working with developers to help bring content exclusively to Stadia, but we don't know when that's going to happen, in at least 2 to 3 years out, I would guess. So how is Google going to make money? Are they going to serve you ads in your subscription? Are there going to be like overlays and non-skippable stuff that like we get on YouTube? Are you going to have to pay for the pro subscription in order to make those ads go away? Is that going to be part of the infrastructure? It feels
I think
like
long-term
it would be
strategy. That like we brought this up on a Gamescast, I think, right? It was like, why is Google all of a sudden so hot on this? Like, not that it's not a good market. The video game industry has become very, very big. I remember once, obviously it was struggling many, many years ago and people going out of business. And although that still happens because games are expensive, it's like thriving now. There's so much money in gaming between mobile gaming and PC gaming and console gaming. But back to the point, I think, Google's interest is in google.com, which is youtube.com, which is a combination of ad revenue and just like searching their platforms, right? And so I think that inevitably that all ties together. I think I had used the analogy, like if Netflix could be, if they could have these other services that Google had before they started, they probably would have tried to integrate it. Like YouTube would be a part of Netflix, right? If, Netflix was Google. So
and Google has a leg up in the ability to serve curated content because they're tracking you across all of their services, right? You think about the amazing behemoth that is Google's algorithm and how it tracks your cookies across multiple sites and how it serves you super targeted ads. You're like, I just looked at that armchair on Amazon that one time, and now that armchair is following me to every fucking website that I go to visit. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So imagine if now you bring in a gaming ecosystem and they have a better ability to service games highly tailored to you than literally anybody else, better than Steam, certainly better than what Xbox and PlayStation are doing on their individual stores, better than what Epic is doing. I mean, Nintendo's not even in that game right now, right? So you log into your Stadia account and then like they pay, or people pay Google to service their games specifically to you based off your categories in the algorithm. I mean, that to me, like that's exactly how Google's going to make their money. And like, it remains to be seen how that's all going to play out. This is just me hypothesizing, right? But
no, there's so much that could happen, obviously. But maybe, just thinking back to the original headline here about it being cheaper.
Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole, Fran.
It's okay. Yeah, I thought it was great discussion. I was just thinking, wait, I don't know if we addressed the core of this. You had mentioned, and it stuck out to me. You're like, well, what did you say about why they're bringing older games? You thought because it was
because the opportunity for Ubisoft to make as much revenue on their older library isn't as high as it would be if they maybe get a licensing fee, even a partial licensing fee from Google to put it into their library.
Gotcha. But yeah, it just got me thinking. It's like, well, look, I think we're going to see a lot of these ports, as it were, to the platform because they're already done. That's, if you have an active game and to the story, they're saying, look, it's pretty easy. It's not that expensive. So why not put a high profile game on there? Like, meaning it doesn't cost a new development team and like give it to this studio. I mean, I don't know all the details, but they're seeming to say that, already part of our pipeline, we can bring a lot of stuff to Stadia. Stadia does the rest of the back end. And like, now we're just selling a game on the new Steam, so to speak, of like, why not give it a shot? So meaning, I think that's why, and I think because the announcement is so new, the reason why we're not seeing like a brand new exclusive Ubisoft title is like, well, they need to get this out there, Google, and prove this works both to us and developers, don't you think?
Oh,
and like people
absolutely.
I'm sure they're already in the works of like, look, here's how much pre-orders we're getting traction. You've now seen it working in Ubisoft Studios, like way more than we've ever had a chance. And so as confidence builds, I wouldn't be surprised if, 2 years from now, Ubisoft says Division 3 or whatever it is, they're like, yeah, that's in the works for Stadia already. But meaning I feel like those games are a bit farther out versus obviously there's going to be some unannounced partners that have stuff coming early next year, and certainly by the end of next year for Stadia, I think will be the big whatever exclusives that they manage to get.
I think that that's a very plausible thing that could happen. Absolutely. And on top of that, I think it's important to recognize that this is indicative that Google's tech is on par with where it needs to be. You don't hear Ubisoft saying, oh yeah, it's super easy to port games to Nintendo Switch. Because it's not. And we've seen that from a lot of developers, right? That porting to specific platforms, whether it be taking something designed for console and bringing it to PC or vice versa, can be really problematic for a lot of devs. There's a reason why games aren't on every platform at launch, with the exception of a few handful of titles, right? And so I think what this is also indicative of is that Stadia's tech is where it needs to be and is at that high level that I think we're all expecting and hoping it to be.
Yeah, the core hardware, the fact that it can support it, you're right. Whereas Switch is a less powerful, you can make things work, but it takes a lot more work. Whereas Stadia, it seems that's what they're saying. They're like, no, it's pretty common architecture and it's just a server in the cloud. So boom, we'll just, it's like a recipe for the day, and take some in the morning and you just pour Division over. I'm done with a recipe for the day. No, I'm sure it takes
as long as we can get universal cross saves, that's all I care about. I will buy a game twice.
That would be so good.
Yep.
I will buy a game twice to play it on Stadia if I can have my save always in the cloud, or if I can have a cross save cross progression.
It's really
I'll do
interesting.
it.
People are down to pay $60 for crossplay. And actually, I'm
the
with you on that.
crossplay, I don't even care about. Quite frankly, I'm going to be honest. I already said my most controversial gaming opinion is that crossplay is going to be irrelevant. Did you miss that episode of Gamescast? Go back and watch it. I make a very compelling argument why crossplay is not going to matter.
What?
But cross save and cross progression, however, my friends. Now that's a different story.
That is a very convenient thing. Anyway, that blew my mind, but that's another topic for Gamescast.
You were on that episode of Gamescast with me.
I definitely was not. If you look at my reaction, if you said that crossplay is not that important versus,
I thought for sure you were on that because you came with a bunch of notes.
No. I mean, whatever. There's a small chance I'm forgetting.
Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Let me know if you can find the episode of the Gamescast where we talk about our most controversial gaming opinions. I believe Fran was on that episode, and I talked about how crossplay was going to be irrelevant.
He was, and he totally fucked it up. He misunderstood.
Oh, he misunderstood the assignment, right?
Yeah. And he looked really dumb.
What? I literally don't remember this at all. So.
Look at him.
I think y'all are making this up right now.
All right, on to the next story. Tim Willits to leave id Software after 24 years at the company. This write-up comes from Asif Khan over at ShackNews. Tim Willits has announced that he is leaving id Software after 24 years. Please take a look at the announcement posted to his Twitter page, which reads, after 24 years, I've decided to leave id Software after QuakeCon. I've been extremely lucky to work with the best people in the industry on truly amazing games. QuakeCon has been an unbelievable part of my journey, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the Gaylord Texan, which is where QuakeCon is held this year. Willits began working at id Software as a level designer and ultimately worked his way up the ranks at the company to become studio director. Tim assured id Software fans that his departure would not affect games currently in development. Quote, all of the games currently in development are in very good hands. My departure will not affect any planned releases. id Software is packed full of amazing talent that will continue to develop long into the future some of the best shooters in the world, Willits continued. After QuakeCon, I will announce my future plans, where I am going, and what new exciting things I am doing. Stay tuned.
I was wanting to ask you what you make of this story. I'm sure you're wondering the same thing for me. The reason I say that is because sometimes you hear these stories and you wonder, has the studio changed? And is it more that they're like, look, Tim, it's been great, but I don't know, we have all these other studios. So, meaning, is it a Bethesda sort of agreement to usher him out? Or is it that Tim's like, no, I'm going on to this new exciting thing? I actually do think it's the latter, but meaning, if you remember, obviously we've had the shakeups at Activision when Condrey now has started his studio for 2K, and then also, what's his name?
Glenn Schofield?
Yes, Glenn. But they went off to do things, and it was presented very much as like, Activision and them have agreed, and they're excited to be part of this and that. But you see that they moved on to other things, and something seemingly happened there. Where anyway, I think with this story, it is Tim probably has been working on something else. We don't know what it is, but what do you think? Do you think it could be a Bethesda restructuring?
I doubt it would be a Bethesda restructuring, like pushing Tim out. Tim is wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard nothing. I've met him.
An
He's
integral
amazing.
part of the
He's an icon.
id team. I mean, he was there in the early days when id was really becoming that powerhouse innovative force for first-person shooters. And to this day, id remains like best in class for FPS mechanics. Like they are first-person shooters, right? Like I think that that's not a controversial statement to say. No. So I do not think for a second that Bethesda was like, yo, Tim, like hit the bricks.
Yeah, or that they were pushing, because sometimes, maybe they were pushing him on a project that he didn't want to do. Like I'm actually with you. I don't think any of that's happening. Like Tim is so invaluable, and I've talked to him, and he is so in the weeds with the details, and that's a good thing. A studio director that just plays all the games so much and understands so much about them. Like we went to the Rage 2 event, and I think I'd met him it'd been many years. I met him before and interviewed him or something behind the camera. But when I saw him again, I was like, yeah, like this guy is so in it, man. Like he's so cool, and he was a really nice guy, but he just knew every last detail. And so, yeah, I can't wait to see what he's doing next.
Yeah, he's great. I think probably what this is Tim looking at his career at id going, you know what? I'm the studio director. I had an amazing run here. I worked on some really fantastic games, and now maybe it's time for me to try something else. Maybe it's time for me to pass the torch to the next person, to let new leadership come in while I get to go explore a passion project that I've been wanting to work on.
Yeah, I mean, we see this of studio directors or just people, executive producers who've done a lot of work, is this temptation to like, look, I want to do it on my own. I want to start my own studio. Seemingly that's what's happening. But I'm going to throw one out there just for, what if it's a Stadia exclusive studio and Google has picked up Tim Willits to do a first-person shooter because they're so impressed with how good Doom is looking. And they said, we need you to make a first-person shooter just for Stadia.
I mean,
isn't that a fun suggestion?
It's a fun theory. I think something like that could be possible. Someone like Google would have enough resources to woo a studio director like Tim Willits away from a very cushy job at id. But
he could
knows?
Just be exactly like
maybe he's gonna like open an ice cream shop and take a complete different turn in life, and maybe take it a little bit slower.
All right, Andrea.
Also, dude. A Tim Willits ice cream truck, I'm actually down for that. That would be the best. Anyway, honestly, he's an amazing producer, now studio director, and like I can't wait to see what he does next. But he's like you. He's like, look, I'm leaving in a while, but like I'm gonna be around through QuakeCon, and like so it becomes this after like meeting by next month. That'll be. These will be awkward. Yeah, like, no, we'll be over it, though, halfway before you're even going to leave. Then we're almost going to forget. Yeah. So anyway, it's actually interesting that he announced it so soon, but my guess is things are starting to heat up on his next thing. But can't wait to see what Tim is up to next. He's a great dude.
He is indeed a lovely human being. I've interviewed him many, many times over the course of my career and has always been a joy to talk with. So congratulations on all of your success, Tim. And we look forward to seeing where you're going next. All right, our last item for the Roper Report. Monster Hunter World has shipped 13 million copies worldwide. Woo! So from the Monster Hunter Twitter account, Hunters, we've hit another big #MHWorld milestone. 13 million units shipped worldwide. We're celebrating by giving everyone a special item pack. Look out for these useful items when you claim your daily login bonus between July 25th and August 29th. So let's see what those items are. Of course, as you guys may be aware, Monster Hunter World is getting an expansion called Iceborne on September 6th this fall. And so the items are, it looks like you get an attack jewel, 13 appreciation tickets, 13 silver eggs, 3 gold Wyverian prints, and 3 heavy armor spheres. So for your crafting pleasure.
Nice. But this is big news. Like, it's easy to lose track of how explosive Monster Hunter World has become. Like, Monster Hunter has always been kind of popular, but this release in particular, I forget. In fact, if you can leave it in kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong, if you can find the detail, how much did, the previous Monster Hunter sell before this? But, like, this is a huge number. Now this is shipped, so we got to remember these are not sold, but whether it's 10 or 11 million sold and there's 2 million that they're sitting in a bunch of boxes around the world because they're that confident, it's probably more than that sold, right? But we're talking God of War numbers. We're talking almost Uncharted numbers. We're talking Mario Kart numbers. Like, this is a multi-console, remember? So there's always a difference there. But it's huge. Like, what was Red Dead? I can't remember. Like, Red Dead's pretty big and in here. And then GTA, like, you're getting up quite a bit above it. But the point is, this is a huge heavy hitter, and it's just massive. So it's really cool to see how well it's doing. And so Iceborne probably going to sell super well.
It's Capcom's best-selling game ever of all time.
Oh, it's funny. I was almost going to say, this must be, and you do that thing when you're hosting the show. You're like, I don't know if I should say that because it's probably Resident Evil, right? And I don't want to throw it out, but this is a huge number. So,
well, franchise-wise, those are different figures, right? Because we're not talking
not
franchise
for the franchise,
sales,
but
we're talking individual games. This is the number one,
which is amazing, right? That's what I was getting at. This is a huge number for Capcom, and I'm sure it means much greater things than Iceborne in the future. So, although we're on the heels of that, I can't imagine what they're planning and where they're taking this in, say, 2.5 years from now or whatever it's going to be, next gen, Monster Hunter World. So
Monster Hunter Universe.
There it is. You figured it out. But that's exciting. Congrats.
Monsters in space.
No, that's too far.
It's too far. No, you went too far.
I'd be into it. Well, congrats to the team at Capcom. I'm looking forward to playing Iceborne. It was super fun at E3.
Yeah.
But Monster Hunter Iceborne is still a couple of months away, Fran. If we wanted to know what was coming to the mom and grab digital shops today, where would we go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kinda Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Out today, Growtopia on Xbox One, Gabuchi on PS4, Switch, and PC. Etherborn is on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Warlocks 2 Godslayers is on PC. FIA European Truck Racing Championship is on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Caladrius Blaze is on Switch. Royal Roads is on Switch. World Cruise Story is on Switch. Battle and Crash is on Switch. Tarot Readings Premium is on Switch. Is that like a tarot card game?
Yeah, it's premium version of it too. So,
Arc Lion Saga is on Switch. Golf Defied is on PC. Project Zero Deaths is on PC, iOS, and Android. And Astroneer, the accessible interplanetary survival sandbox played by more than 3 million space explorers, honors the Apollo 11 mission with its lunar update today on Steam and Xbox One.
But I have to know, why did that one get a write-up?
Because I copy and pasted it from a press release, Fran.
Oh, it wasn't on the list and you saw it out there. So
correct.
Boom.
So generally we go to
business.
one or two sources. Today we went to Kotaku and they have a nice little bullet point
Thank
of
you,
the games.
Kotaku.
But in my email inbox, we also sometimes get games that
Yeah.
Kotaku misses because they get like surprise announcements.
Yeah.
And so I just add them in as I see them.
That's what's interesting, right? Like, they may have gotten the press release, but you just got it, and that means somebody's got to be assigned and update that story, and like you just had direct access to the info.
Correct.
That's what happens when you've been doing
I'm a
this
source
for a decade,
sometimes.
right? You just right there.
All right, new dates, Fran. Oh, wait, did you have
I was
something?
just going to point out, I had played a little bit of Etherborn, actually, and that one
Oh.
snuck up on me. It might be worth a look if you're into, like, kind of the blissful platformer exploration type stuff. Now, I didn't play a lot, but enough to say on that list, at least that was one that I knew that stuck out.
Blissful platform exploration.
I just made that up now, so I don't know if that's a good description or not, but it's very much that, like, floaty exploration in, like, this MC Escher vibrant world. So, calming music. If you played, just escaped me. I was really into it earlier this year. It was a very dreamy. It'll come to me after. But these mini platformers like this, meaning it's the opposite of Limbo, which, by the way, also is free on the Epic. Is that mentioned in here? But it's one of the new Epic free games to download on the Epic Store. So check out Limbo. But that's like a terrifying, side-scrolling platformer kind of thing. Whereas I'm talking about the ones that are like, oh, this is really pretty. And I like walking around the world. So anyway, might be worth a look, but I haven't played enough to know whether it's good or bad.
Well, thanks for that.
Quick note.
New dates. A Rat's Quest: The Way Back Home is coming in 2021. Romeo and Juliet-esque story. That's what it says. Juliet-esque
story. Interesting.
Story about a rat and a mouse. Matt, the hero of the game, is trying to find a way to his beloved Nat, a fearless mouse being kept as a pet. Together, they're planning their escape to freedom, the outside. But beware, this journey is full of dangers, and one of them being the Claw.
Oh no.
That was literally
White
from
Claw?
the press release. Team Gotham and Merge Games are delighted to announce that Solo, Islands of the Heart is the colorful and thought-provoking puzzle experience is coming to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One this summer on July 31st.
summer.
To be specific, the Switch version is on the 1st of August, and the PlayStation 4 version is coming, quote, very soon. Publishing label No More Robots and development studio Rage Squid are excited to announce Descenders for Nintendo Switch. The ultimate ride-on-the-move version of the hit mountain biking game is coming to Switch at the end of 2019. Northgard, the acclaimed Viking strategy title from Shiro Games, with more than 1 million copies sold, strikes Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One on September 26th. Today, the studio is also revealing a free new expansion, Northgard Conquest, and a tabletop adaptation, Northgard Uncharted Lands. Northgard Conquest is a new expansion available for free now, not now, on PC in October.
Yeah, let's go PC. How about that?
Yeah,
Free content
nerds.
in October.
Fell Seal, Arbiter's Mark, one of the most praised games of 2019, is coming to Nintendo Switch on August 14th. There's a hyperlink there showing their Metacritic ratings. Mm-hmm. The landscape of Los Santos will change forever when the premier entertainment destination and community space, the brand new Diamond Casino and Resort, opens this coming Tuesday, July 23rd in GTA Online. Details include new story missions, casinos and resort activities, penthouse access, Twitch Prime benefits, and more. You guys can head on over to Rockstar's website if you want to learn all about the Diamond Casino and Resort coming to GTA Online next week. There's like a fancy new trailer.
Yeah, there's a new trailer. You can check it
Does
out.
it look cool?
I mean, if you're into GTA Online, yeah. It looks like one of the more substantial
GTA Online's
updates that they've put out in a while.
A huge game.
Yeah, they've been doing rolling updates on that game for quite some
Yeah.
time, but this one looks like it's a little bit meatier than your average update.
I'm sure millions of people are excited. That's what I was getting at before. Like, easy to forget how many people are playing some of these older games, but how well stuff sells, and there's just tons of active players. GTA Online is one of the biggest games out there. You you probably don't forget. Let's face it, it's
forgotten.
GTA.
Rockstar doesn't
like
forget.
you just know. It's like when Minecraft was like king of everything. You know, like what's the biggest game in the world? Oh, it's Minecraft. Like
GTA now.
exactly.
Yeah. Deals of the day. Limbo is free
Yeah.
on the Epic Game Store until July 15th. And don't forget, Fran has a creator code that you can use if you're shopping on the Epic Game Store. What is that, Fran?
It's Fran Mirabella. So you just punch that in, and even if it's a free game, I say, why not? Because maybe they're like, hey, this guy's really pushing free games, which nobody makes anything, but what a cool guy. But anyway, if you want to support me, it's an easy way if you're already on the Epic Game Store for PC.
People make money on the free games because Epic foots the bill to make sure the developers get paid for those free games. Yeah.
Meaning I'm not pimping this because I make anything from the free game, but for the other games. But
just get that muscle memory in place.
That's
Fran
what it is.
Mirabella's
But
creator
actually,
code.
I've said it before, and thank you for letting me pimp it out. It really, it's not like a major source of income for me, but like every little bit helps. And
every dollar
thank
makes a
you
difference.
To the best friends and everybody out there who has done it. It has happened. And now that I'm like into the year, I'm like, oh, there's like a little something here. And like if this grows, that's awesome. It could be a way to support me making content. So thank you. Really appreciate it if you decide to use the store.
Absolutely.
All right.
And now it's time for Reader Mail, where you can write into patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where you can also get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily, wow, I'm really struggling today.
You're doing great.
Is brought to you by, let's get into some Reader Mail. Where do you want to start today, Fran? Which one of these is speaking to you?
Oh boy, good question. And by the way, I mean we'll still be fine. I have a call at 11:05, so we're fine.
He
but
shows
I'm just letting
up
you know.
mere minutes before we're supposed
the
to go
show's
live,
already over by
and then
then,
has
but-
the gall to say we have to end on time.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I forgot to
Bring it
mention it
up
beforehand.
earlier.
It's my bad.
So
Let's go.
Let's start with Grant. With Greg hosting the Marvel Games panel at SDCC today, I was curious what you thought Marvel Games' long-term plan is. So far, they focus on big, popular heroes that feature in the MCU or for familiarity in their AAA games. Do you see that continuing? Will we begin to see some experimental hero choices, or is Marvel Games waiting for studios to pitch them on the heroes they would like to adapt and the style of play? I loved Spider-Man and am excited for Avengers, obviously, but would love to see a Resident Evil-inspired Blade game or Moon Knight, or perhaps a third-person Nick Fury, Maria Hill action-adventure game. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Oh, man.
Do you have like a dream Marvel game that you've always wanted?
I would just because I watched the cartoons around X-Men when I was younger, like something Gambit, like a Gambit, like I don't know why. Everybody likes
I'd be down for a Gambit
but I like
game.
New Orleans and like kind of his vibe. Like it'd be cool. I don't know what type of game it is, but more of that. It's his action adventure story.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Could be fun. It's almost, maybe it's like a DMC type vibe, or I'm almost picturing Resident Evil in my mind for some reason. But like there's something there.
A Gambit game in
Maybe it's like Last of
DMC
Us.
style. That could be
Right?
That could be really cool, actually, because he's got the staff, right?
Exactly. So there's something there. Let's look into that one. Do you have anything that stands out for you? Any icons or even just like favorites, that stuck out to you?
I also am a big X-Men fan. I would like to see a really amazing X-Men game happen. I know we've had several in the past that have been really divisive. We haven't had an X-Men game that was universally loved. Not that I can recall anyway. And if there was one, let me know what it is. But I think because of the deep bench of the cool powers of X-Men, like it seems perfect for like an Overwatch style hero shooter, right? Where you get to like really pick, these different characters and it's like a PvP focused thing. Like I thought that would be a really fun opportunity.
Yeah. But I actually think Grant's onto something. Like, I mean, a Nick Fury, Maria Hill, like that would be a really cool, like, it's funny because it's like a very like Hollywood kind of setup, but like, especially if you can get Sam Jackson licensed, like that could be an amazing.
I think
game.
that would only work if you could get Sam Jackson licensed, because
has to be Sam as Nick Fury.
As Grant points out here, about the experimental hero choices, the reason we haven't really seen those is because they have to sell this on a shelf somewhere. Obviously, streaming is going to change a lot of that, but I love that earlier this week when Trisha Hirschberger was guesting on the show with Greg, they were talking about the rise of Comic-Con and how it's really changed and how this deep-seated nerd culture is now everywhere in pop culture and entertainment. And that really has only happened, I think, in large part to people like Marvel with what they did with the MCU in particular. And I think it's interesting that Marvel Games is, picking up the torch of what, the Marvel Studios started with the MCU to say, hey, we're going to bring some of that love for a property like the Avengers into video games in a different way than we've seen them in video games before. Obviously, Ultimate Alliance is out. Is it out this week or next week?
I know the embargo was just up. Marvel Ultimate.
This is also another You're Wrong thing. I know that Greg's playing it and other people are playing it, but I think it's a really tough proposition to bring in little known people from deep within the Marvel comic universe, because it's hard enough when you have a new IP, when you're taking an existing IP and bringing somebody smaller in. When you have these big tentpole players, you're going to get that crowd that's always going to be like, why did you make, an Ant-Man game when you could have made an Iron Man game instead? Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Marvel's bench is so deep. So a lot of good options. Anyway. Cool. Definitely cool ideas. I was going to point out that like between, it was brought up on the show. I think you brought it up, was Destiny. Wouldn't it be cool to get kind of a more Halo-esque single player campaign? We've got Julian, is he studio director or on Division 2, but he's like the
Julian Garrity?
He's the dude. Yeah, Julian.
Yeah, he's the game director.
He's the man, game director.
Creative director.
Yeah, creative director. That's it. They always, different director styles that oversee games, like Tim Willits, the studio director. Anyway, Julian had sort of casually mentioned on Twitter, which quickly became a story, would you want to play a game that's like more single player focused or whatever around Division 2? And everyone's like, yes. But I mean, I guess my point is there's a lot of habits in games. Take a license, try to apply it to a model like I said, what if it was DMC with this? Or what if if we stick to the cinematic universe and are able to pull off something like Last of Us, like, Resident Evil has done more recently and stuff. I mean, I think it's ripe for that. I think people are hopefully thinking about that. Like God of War had set some amazing standards too, and Sony's helped push this. So I feel like, in other words, hopefully years from now, we're starting to see it's not just Destiny 2 the shooter. It's like, let's take this franchise, let's do what Marvel's doing and make this other amazing thing, as Nintendo has also been able to do with their franchises.
There is no doubt in my mind, Grant, after the amazing success and the sales of Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, that we will see another game like that and at that scale in the future. I mean, I would be shocked if we did not see a follow-up to that game from Insomniac. But after really seeing that there's an appetite for that, I'm pretty confident that Marvel Games is going to be making more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about
it?
Parker Petrov? Should we do that one, Fran? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Greetings, Frandria. With the next generation on the horizon and the gaming industry moving more and more to digital streaming and subscription-based industry, I was wondering if you were to look in your crystal glass balls, do you see the viability of medium to large independent developers on a scale of Remedy, Insomniac, 4A, etc., being able to remain independent? Or if the industry moves to a Netflix subscription streaming-based medium, will they need to hitch their wagon to a Sony, Google, Microsoft to remain open? Lastly, Andrew, can you persuade John to give us a KOTOR 3? Thanks.
You should answer that first.
I will put in the request. That's not up to him. But.
I like that. That's the most popular thing that's come up recently from this news. Excuse me.
So I think that this is an interesting idea. I think that potentially the streaming future might give them more availability to remain independent because they don't need to rely on the existing relationships with not only big box retailers like your Best Buys and GameStops of the world, but also the platform holders to negotiate the streaming rights because they can potentially negotiate it themselves.
Yeah, like I think I'm misunderstanding the Netflix example a bit because like to me that's been a good thing. Netflix now has a ton of money that you don't have to work for just Warner Brothers anymore if that's what you've been doing, and like, oh, I pitched this movie to Netflix and they picked it up, but you're still your independent studio. In other words, you don't have to work for Netflix Studios. So I think I'm missing something in the way that was intended. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing. And actually, yeah, I think viability of medium to large is still pretty good right now. I think it's the smaller ones like how do you get a team of 15 people together and get on the map when there's so much competition and well-funded stuff? But that's why it's important these companies make an effort, like Microsoft, like making sure to support these things, which we know Sony recently said like indies won't be as important on PS5, but we'll see where that goes.
Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to Squad Up since we're getting to the end of the show here. This is from
Pokemon
our very
Pokemon
own
CEO.
2038 Pokemon CEO. My name is Nicholas. In 2038, I have a foolish dream of becoming the Pokemon Company CEO. On my daily 5K, I pass one Pokestop. I could use gifts. I do not play often, but I love making friends within the community. In the last 24 hours, I reached out to Ryan Reynolds and Elon Musk to sign a broken clock. I'm preparing for my first meeting with Stanford and a trip to Washington, D.C. Wow, you're a busy guy. Yeah. Pokemon connects people regardless of age, social class, gender, and language. I know my dream may never come true. 7 years down, 19 more to go. It would be foolish to quit now. What are you waiting for? Squad up and send the gifts. Let's make memories of a lifetime. History remembers the fools. So the Pokemon CEO in Pokemon Go has put his game ID in here. It is 76280137424, and of course that'll be in the show notes if you are not somewhere where you can write that down. And good luck with all of your gift getting. Yeah,
Pokemon Go Community Day is coming up, I think, July 21st. We know where Andrew Goldfarb will be and Greg Miller now. But anyway, I thought it was timely with Greg talking about it. And hopefully this wasn't already on. I tried to look back, but I'm pretty sure we hadn't mentioned it, even though we know Pokemon CEO so well.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to You're Wrong.
Here we go.
This is where we ask you to write into kindoffunny.com/you'rewrong to keep us honest throughout the show. And Lord of Pwn says the Lego podcast set needs 8,805 more votes. Fran is bad at math.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I shouted that. I think I said the right version at some point.
And apparently there's already a decent Lego Benandria. I have to look at that link.
Yeah. So I don't have access to the form. It's not working for me. I'm going to rely on you.
Oh, you don't? I'm sorry,
I'll
Fran.
use my phone.
We'll get
It's
you.
a login issue.
We'll get
It's
you
okay.
on this.
Just use my login.
I tried. It's okay.
Evan O
Don't worry
says
about it.
Ubisoft subscription will be on Stadia, so if you're subscribed, you will get new games day one on Stadia through the Ubisoft subscription, which includes DLC.
Yeah.
You don't need the Stadia subscription to play your Ubisoft subscription on Stadia. That,
did
I
we
believe,
say
is
that? We
not
didn't say
for
that.
new games, or is it also for new games? Because this also goes into the thing that Lanky Dragoon is saying here. Andrea speculated there would be an emphasis on older Ubisoft games being part of Stadia subscription. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is going to be part of the service and will launch only about a month or two before Stadia launches. It's also been reported that Watch Dogs Legion will be part of Stadia when the game launches. And that's the difference, though, is that those games I don't believe are included in the regular Stadia service. You have to have the Pro subscription. And we also don't know if the Pro subscription is going to include those games. I don't think that they've confirmed if those AAA games are included in the Pro subscription or if you have to pay a fee on top of that.
Wait a minute. I've not heard that at all. You've heard that you have to have the Pro subscription just to play a game like Watch Dogs?
At launch?
Yeah. Well, you can only play Founders, right? Founders are the only people who can play, right, for a certain period of months. Oh, so maybe that's what you're getting at, which is meaning there's you have to be part of Founders Club to play Stadia, period, until I don't think we know the official worldwide release date yet for the platform. That, if you're talking about that, yeah. But in other words, I don't have to carry... Yeah, we don't know. It's not like you have to pay $60 a year just to play an online game, or do we know that?
I don't think we have specific clarity yet on how they're going to handle brand new AAA games in addition to the subscription service that they have. Like, for example, if you want to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare at launch, when Stadia goes live, I don't believe Modern Warfare is included in the Google Stadia Pro subscription. I think that's a separate fee to play on top, but I don't have confirmation of that. Okay. That is just my understanding. So
we'll look more into it.
I know, Fran, we got a few minutes, Fran. You'll be okay.
Well, I got to be on the...
And thankfully, Bordzen put the YouTube link for the episode of the Gamescast that we were talking about. Thank you very much. I'll show it to you after your call. Let's see here. There's some numbers for Monster Hunter. Let's see if any of these I can get to quickly. Monster Hunter on Wii sold 2009, sold 1.9 million. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on 3DS sold 4.2 million copies. According to Alex Russ, in 2017, Monster Hunter XX sold 1.8 on 3DS.
Yeah, see, I mean,
so like substantially less than previous. Yeah,
massive, 2 or 3 times. As much
but this is also, remember, like the first time Monster Hunter
Yeah.
World has come to multi-console in this way. It's predominantly been a handheld game and PlayStation ecosystem, and now it was out on multi-platform. I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, still huge.
Missed Date out today from Spencer for the Vita on Play Asia.
Wow.
Mecha Wars Desert Ashes and War Theater got a 1,000 copies of each game on sale. Both games are a love letter to Advanced Wars with a very unique art. Would appreciate you letting the fellow best friends know. We got you, Spencer.
Doing God's work.
Another out today from Woody. Sky, Children of the Light from That Game Company is out for iPhone and iPad. It's the long-awaited follow-up to Journey, and it's done after years of beta testing. The game is also coming soon to Android, Mac, Apple TV, PC, and consoles. Another deal of the day from Fendi. Flash sales happening on PSN right now, and it includes Batman Arkham Collection. Tell Barrett, happy gaming, best friends. And then just to confirm again, Ultimate Alliance is out tomorrow, July 19th. And I guess we'll have to get clarification on the Stadia Pro subscription.
Yeah, I'll double check. I'll see if I can.
Next month.
Remember, I'm hosting the show tomorrow with Andrea, so we'll be back doing the same thing tomorrow, and we'll try to get some clarification on that. Also, I played some Sky, and maybe we can talk about that. Definitely check that one out. Very
Awesome.
cool looking. Very cool.
Thanks for watching Kind of Funny Games Daily. We love you, everybody. It's been our pleasure to serve.
Bye.
Friends gotta go. The lights are still up.
I'm running.